Hello, Flat Earth. I have been using, this is Maryland Spirit Level, and I have been using a science experiment card that I created, and I got the idea from Plain Ranger over in the UK. I thought if he can do his experiment with a piece of sheet metal, then I should be able to do it also with a piece of glossy paper, and I could hand these out, and that way each individual person could have a lot of good information. So I have been asked 3 times now to make this video on how to use the cards, and so I decided to do that. This is probably the 4th or 5th revision of this card. I started out very gentle and didn't want to offend anyone, of course, you know. And but I didn't have any strong words on the first couple of versions. But now I have gotten a lot more confident, and I want to tell people that they are being lied to, and that word, you have to use that word. So it's an unpleasant word in many circles, but after all the language I've been hearing from some angry men who are just wonderful in the Flat Earth movement, but I've realized that you have to have strong language, but it can't be overtly offensive. So there are some words you can use. If you can back it up, if you can stand there and look the person in the eye and say, yes, you are being lied to, and give them a straight eye. So as you have been reading probably, this is the card that I'm using, and I use glossy paper. The first time I did it, I used photo paper, and that was very expensive, and I put four on one sheet of 8.5 by 11, and then in my computer, then I printed them out on a LaserJet printer, and then I was able to cut them. And the first time I cut them, I just used the scissors, but now I have a little lap held paper cutter, which is really cheap. I don't know what I paid, $12 or something. But now that I'm using just glossy paper instead of the photo paper, these are only a penny a piece. So anybody can love their fellow man enough to give them a penny. So I hand out, I'm telling you, when I go into a restaurant for breakfast or something, I can easily hand out 25 in no time flat. What you do is go up to them and say, here's a science experiment. It'll really open your mind. And if they look at me funny, I say, don't worry, it's not religious. And a lot of them laugh, and they say, okay, I'll look at it. And I'm telling you, I've had very good results with this. So as you can see, you've been reading the instructions, and I'll tell you, a lot of people don't even get that. But once they start to look at them and read each instruction. So what you first do is you turn the paper over, and there's my light source. When you're using fluorescent lights, the long lights, it's a little more difficult because you don't have that singular light source. But you can do it with the fluorescents like they have in the restaurants. So here you have the paper. You hold it side to side, one on each side. Turn it over, and then bend up the edges slightly. And look, you get that light. You get that reflection that goes the length of the paper. Then unfold, and there you only get the dot. You only get a dot of light. And that is your curved earth. There's your curved water. There's your globe. So on the globe, that's what you get. But if you are, and I'm doing this behind the camera, so if you turn up the edges slightly, you get that line. Now, who does not have a smartphone? A smartphone, you can easily look up a picture of, here we go. Look, find a picture of a sunset over water, and you will have that line. That's the line you will see. And that proves, and you can say right to the people, if you're explaining this, if they're having trouble. I've sat across the restaurant from a young girl who was looking at it and trying to figure us out, and I went, psst, psst, and I held it up to the light, and I demonstrated it to her from across the restaurant. And she looked, and she went, oh, and smiled at me, and so it was very successful, even without words. So I hope you try this. Please copy this, pass it around. If you want to change the words, okay, like down at the bottom, Facebook Flat Earth PA. That's our page for our group that I'm trying to get together and get active. I have a little bit of experience running a small group, so I thought, who else should start this but me? But I have a lot of good people in this group. You are going to be hearing a lot from us because we have Carly and we have Dave and we have Richard. And if you go to Flat Earth PA, you will see them, and they are awesome. So I'm expecting a lot out of our group. So God bless you all, and thank you for watching.